morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. I'm out here at Auto Club Speedway today with Falken tire, and this is my first time using any kind of Falken rubber, and went ahead and put the RT660 Azensis tires, which are track day, you know, like a autocross track day hybrid, so to speak. They're DOT compliant, they're streetable. So gonna test them out, see how I like the tires. So far gone maybe 5-10 laps at this point, and I'm loving the grip, but wasn't adjusted for pressure because I got them hot first before adjusting the pressures to a hot setting. So I've adjusted them down to 39 psi hot, and this is not the kind of track, so we're doing the infield today, just the infield, not the roval. This is not the kind of track that's going to be harsh on either side of the car. There's not a lot of high-speed corners, so a lot of them are still kind of, you know, slower than Willow Springs, what I'm used to. I don't think I'm going to stress any particular side of the car, so have them square, 39 psi. I'll show you guys the tires in just a second, and let's see how it does in a hotter pressure setting. We got quite the turnout. We're using both garages for garage 1 and 2. Both sides look like they've been nearly filled, and we still have some cars out here in the paddock area. I'm parked somewhere about there. Probably not going to see my car. And the track is currently hot with the advanced group running. This is no open pass, open test and tune, but point buy only for everybody. Falken also did a toy drive for this track event, and looks like there's quite a bit of them. So this looks like good success, and it is Christmas time, so this is a very kind gesture. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the clips from today's track day. Just want to say thanks again to Falken for the invitation to Fast on Falken Tire track day at the Auto Club Speedway. Again, the configuration was just the infield, no roval. None of the bank turns were involved in the big speedway, but it's my first time out there, and honestly, it's a pretty fun little. It's a shorter track. It's not something that I've normally done, but it's a shorter, quicker laps. Very neat facility, honestly. But that's not the topic of the video. The whole point of this was to test out the RT660s, which I can't really give much feedback other than what I first thought of it, because I haven't had the tire long enough. It was the first time it's out on track. Before that, it's I maybe put about 100 miles on the street, if that. Drove it to work a couple of times and came out here to have some fun. But first impressions, grips very well. It's not going to be, like, unfortunately, you can't compare a tire like this to a strict track use tire that are not roadworthy. But for being a track day autocross tire, like, it did so well. And on the street, I've driven it in the wet weather too. Like, it just recently started raining here in California. It's streetable perfectly fine as long as it's 3 seasons. Sure, it would do pretty terribly in the winter or in super cold conditions. On track, solid grip, like really good response and feedback back to me, basically. It does have a fair good margin where you get an idea if it's going to give out or not, right? Like, obviously, talking to some of the guys, pressure comes into play a lot too. Like, tweaking the pressure, it's like the cheapest suspension mod you can do. I've been told this from many instructors that I've had the pleasure of working with. But other than tweaking the pressure, which I kept today at 39 hot squared psi, and it did fine by me. And like as I was saying, like the margin that it gives you for warning when, hey, I'm about to break out, I'm starting to lose grip, it's really nice just to get that feel. I've had other tires where you don't get a margin, where you have grip, and then next thing you know, you're loose, but you don't really get the warning, you don't get the feel and feedback. This way, I think it would be a perfect tire for beginners, or it would be a perfect tire for somebody who's going to the track for the first time. It's very forgiving in terms of how much feedback it gives you. For intermediate advanced, it's a solid tire, especially if you plan to drive your car to the racetrack, or even if you're towing it, it's a perfect substitute for strictly track only dedicated R compounds. And the entry price is, I think, very competitive. Like, we're talking about $1,000 for a set of tires, for 4, assuming you're not running some funky size. But standard size for people like me, in a standard sedan, 245 4018 square setup, you're talking about barely $1,000, which is right up there. Actually, as a matter of fact, it's even cheaper than Michelin Pilot Sport 4S, that being like the almost the perfect street tire, right? And it offers plenty of grip, just enough to justify it as like a track day tire too. This is a lot better. I mean, the only thing for somebody who plans to street their car more than track it is obviously going to be the tread wear. You have a 200 tread wear rating, where other summer performance tires might give you more. And Falken has plenty of substitutes if you're looking for more of a streetable tire than track tire. You want the tread wear, but at 200 tread wear for an R compound or like a track day tire, I think it's a solid deal, and I definitely recommend looking into it. One last thing I am going to add to that, and none of the Falken guys like the comment, but I think this is the spiritual successor to the RE71R, which I've had experience with. I ran, I want to say 3-4 sets before I switched to the Toyos, and then came back to Falken. I think this is the closest thing you can get to an RE71R in the modern day. The RE71R is no longer produced, so definitely take a look at the RT660, especially if you want a tire that you can street. But a true track dedicated tire, it's definitely worth a look, and I'm very happy with the first impressions. The next video, if I do a video on this topic, it would be to see how far the tires go, how many heat cycles it survives, and how many track days it lasts, really. So let's see where we go from here. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. I do hope you like the clips. I tried something different, you know, different angles, obviously door-mounted GoPros, but let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer them, and happy holidays to everyone.